Thank you. My name is Phil Renna. I'm the Senior Director of Communications here at the laboratory. And tonight I'm welcoming you all here on behalf of Bruce Stillman, our president. And I just want to say that in 2014, this whole thing got started. And I'd like to thank Tom for kicking off that initiative with Bruce. And a number of the foundations that are here came together to support the Rhabdomyosin Sarcoma Initiative. And I'm very proud of that, and I know all of you are. And I'm so happy to see so many of you here tonight. This means our legacy is actually going to carry on, and that's really, really important thing, not for us. And you know, I know our family and many of you have suffered, tremendous losses. But this is about saving the next child. And so I'm so proud that you're all here tonight. And so at this time, I'd like to introduce Chris to come up and say a few words and give us an update on the Rhabdo program, where we are.
Yeah, I will start by just parroting what Phil said. It's really just so special to have so many of our supporters here in one room. And it's really an honor to address all of you. I think especially those of you who've been with us since the very beginning. So in 2014, we really got together and started the sarcoma research project, which I think, as many of you know, the circumstances of how we got together was very unusual for Cold Spring Harbor. It was really a case where the local community and really the health crisis in the area of pediatric cancer was identified by members of our community who really came to us and challenged us to build a research program, which we had on a cancer we had never worked on before, dedicated to finding a cure for pediatric sarcomas. And if I look back on really how far we've come, there's been, I think, many key ingredients to some of the successes that we've had. First of all, it's so many of you and the energy with which you run your foundations and you raise funding to support our research. You do this very tirelessly. I'm always blown away by the activities that you organize year-round to really support this cause. And you guys really light the fire for us to kind of keep the research going at maximum intensity. Second, I would say key ingredient is the team of scientists that I have here. Right now I have 6 full-time scientists in my lab dedicated to pediatric sarcoma. And so if you ask who are you funding when you write a check to Cold Spring Harbor, it's supporting them. And so I want to call them out by name. Raise your hand when I call your name. First is Martina Soroka. She was one of the first members to join our team, working full-time on rhabdomyosarcoma since she joined the lab. Second is Christian Cleary, also working on rhabdomyosarcoma. She's from Stony Brook. Third is Yuan Gao, who may not be here, but she is full-time working on Ewing sarcoma. Toyoki Yoshimoto as well works on Ewing sarcoma. Third is Anand Vasudevan, who just joined the team, also working on rhabdo. And then finally, Larissa de Almeida, sorry, I said that wrong, just joined the lab a few weeks ago, working very closely with Martina on rhabdo as well. And so, yeah, I would say the third piece to this work that we've been doing is collaboration. We've been working with really the thought leaders in sarcoma all over the world, physicians, scientists, and more the pharmaceutical industry. They are our partners, and we've been very active on the research front. And so since this work began in 2014, we've published 8 important discoveries in the area of sarcoma since this work began. And one of these I just want to highlight because I think it captures kind of what we're all about as scientists. So back in 2015, one of my scientific heroes is a guy named Scott Armstrong. He's right now the chair of pediatric oncology at Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. And he took a train to come out here to Cold Spring Harbor. And actually downstairs in the bar, we talked about collaborating with each other to combine CRISPR technology, something we were developing here, and in the pursuit of new drug targets in synovial sarcoma, a cancer that he was working on. And so, so that fast forward 3 years, we worked together and we published the discovery of a new drug target for synovial sarcoma, a protein called BRD9. Now, shortly after that publication, several new biotechnology companies announced that they had begun the development of BRD9 targeting drugs, based in part on the work that we published together in 2018. And I just checked the clinical trials registry online this morning. Right now, there are actively enrolling patients in these 2 clinical trials, both with drugs that target BRD9 in synovial sarcoma, as well as in malignant rhabdoid tumors. And so this is kind of an example of what we do. We published the first study on this target in oncology. We published it, announced it to the world, essentially put it on the internet. And what happens is biotech companies kind of pay attention to what we're doing. They leverage their chemistry resources to make drugs and then take this and advance this into the clinic. And so this is something we are doing and expanding to other subtypes of sarcoma as well. And so finally, I just want to really emphasize that while we've been working on lots of different sarcomas, if I look at the research that's most active in the lab right now, by far and away, rhabdomyosarcoma is the central focus. So 4 of the 6 scientists that I've introduced are full-time working on rhabdomyosarcoma. And I would say in recent years, the path for developing drugs for this tumor have become very clear to us as we're applying CRISPR genome editing, protein biochemistry, structural biology, and high-throughput chemical screening to try to advance novel transformative medicines for rhabdomyosarcoma. We're working very closely with a new biotech company who shares a passion for rare pediatric tumors. And we're in very active discussions about how we can collaborate and bring this new medicine to the clinic, as we've done in other types of cancer. And so I think, as this audience will know more than anyone, rhabdomyosarcoma is really the worst of the worst when it comes to pediatric sarcomas. It is just never had a new medicine. A medicine has never been developed for these patients. All the medicines that are used were developed for other cancers that were repurposed to treat sarcoma, and hence, for that reason, are inadequate. And I'm not aware of any new medicine in the pipeline from a major pharmaceutical company in rhabdo. And so we're really determined to make an impact and to make a change to the status quo in this disease. And so I just want to thank you all again for being here, supporting us, and really tirelessly and patiently supporting us in this long process of drug development from academia.
Individually, we are working very hard to keep our child's memory present and to say their names and to tell their brave stories. Each of us are so driven to change the current course of treatment and outcomes because of what we have witnessed and how much our children have suffered. But together, by standing with one another, we can combine our efforts and our resources to help change the current course. I'm so committed to making a change and changing the course that I believe that this is my and my family's lifetime mission. And it just struck me that how sad it is that it takes bereaved parents to form foundations so that much needed funds are directed to research. But that's a whole nother issue. But I really think that maybe this is each of our missions now. By lighting the gold tree and gathering together here and shining light onto pediatric cancer awareness and doing it at this world-renowned laboratory, I feel is such a great first step. I like to think our angels directed all of us here and can see the lights from heaven and beyond. Thank you, and God bless you.